Welcome to Unstoppable, where dreams turn into plans and plans turn into powerful action. Hosted by Paula Swain, financial planner, business owner, grandma, and queen of reinvention. This show is for women ready to stop surviving and start thriving. We'll laugh, we'll learn, and we'll tackle the messy, beautiful, in-between parts of life that no one really talks about, but we all live through. This is Unstoppable.
Hi, and welcome to Unstoppable. I'm Paula Swain, your host and financial planner with the Financial Center for Women. I spent a lot of time volunteering. I didn't do it a lot when I was younger. Actually, I didn't do it at all. But as I've gotten older and I'm an empty nester now, I do spend more time volunteering. But I had no idea how to get started, where to go, what's available. So our next guest, Stormy Bell, is it's a podcast called The Art of Volunteering. So she's going to tell us how we can get started. So how are you, Stormy?
I am well. How are you today?
I'm good. I have to say, I just love your name. Were you named Stormy?
My real name is Stormy. My dad named me.
That is so cool. Just a cool name. My name's Stormy Bell. I mean, it sounds like you're just like this
an actress or a soap opera name.
Yeah, perfect. Soap opera name is perfect. Perfect.
I've had people they think they hear it, then like Susan, Sharon. No, it's Stormy. You heard it correct.
That's awesome. I'm going to change my name. I'll have to come up with
What
something.
would it be?
I don't know. Things pop into my head all the time, and I'm like, well, that sounds like a good idea for the moment, but realistically, I'm not going to change it. I've always wanted a nickname. I've never had a nickname before. There's not much that goes with Paula.
I want a nickname, and people would say, but Stormy is a nickname. Like, no, it's my real name. I want a nickname.
Yeah.
That didn't work out.
But Stormy stands out.
It does.
I mean, it's really cool. Paula, not so much. But, and there's nothing that rhymes with it. So no nickname. And you can't shorten it. So I'm stuck, no nickname. So sad. Anyway, okay, let's not talk about me. Let's talk about you. So how did you start the art of volunteering?
It's been almost 4 years ago. It was towards the end of the pandemic. COVID took my job away. So I'm in the nonprofit realm, and I lead development efforts at a regional nonprofit. And so they weren't hiring because people weren't having events. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start do like a digital course. And I took the Amy Porterfield's Digital Course Academy.
I took that. I took that
What?
class. I took that class too.
You did?
Yeah.
It was really good. Actually, I met our mutual friend Kendra through the podcast. That's how we met. And we're talking about advertising it, and I'm like, you need an email list. Well, I didn't have an email list outside of my family. So I'm like, well, how am I going to do that? So I'm like, I'll start a podcast and give people a reason to build a list. And that's really how it started. And I have one episode left, and season 4 will all be recorded. And we're starting to plan out for season 5, which will be our 5th year anniversary.
Wow, congratulations. This is my 20 to 30 some range show. I did do a podcast for a couple years. It's a lot of work.
It is work.
It could almost be a full-time job, just finding guests and coming up with questions and the thank you notes that go afterwards and making sure everything gets aired and promoting it. It's a full-time job.
All the things. I actually hired my son to be my producer. So he does the back end of it, and then I do the recruiting of guests and the scripts, and I press record, and he handles it from there. So it's a good teamwork for that.
All I do is show up and just show up. Just show up. From here it goes to whoever, and they take care of it for me.
Gotcha.
I'm easy just to show up. No, I do the guest part of it. Okay. I do volunteer. It took me a long time to get there, and one of the reasons I didn't volunteer more, I just didn't know how. I mean, I didn't know where to go. And there's plenty of places that need people, but how do you even find them?
Or you're going to listen to one of the 75 episodes that we put out on the art of volunteering. No. But really, volunteering it starts with who you are and what you're passionate about, whether it's children, youth, the aging, um, the arts, or even animals. Like, what really resonates with you? From there, you can do a quick Google search to see what's in your area, like ASAP. I can't even say that. The animal shelters are close by. If you like to walk dogs or clean kennels. And then you have like libraries or schools that you can go in and read books. There's also, for more professionals who have like maybe a lawyer or someone in finance, there's a board of directors. Nonprofits always need qualified individuals to be on their boards to help governance for the nonprofit, for whatever mission that resonates with you. So it just takes a little bit of research, but there's so many places that need people. And I believe it's like $32 an hour on average if a nonprofit had to hire a volunteer. So you're saving nonprofits money by volunteering your time, so more money can go towards the mission of the organization. So it's a really nice win-win for the individual and for the organization you're volunteering with.
So I think volunteering is more about the time you spend doing it. I mean, the reward is so great when, like, I volunteer at a shelter for men who were homeless or have substance abuse, and they come to this place for a year for rehabilitation, find jobs, that kind of stuff. And so when I'm there, I'm serving them food. Something so simple, right? And yet their gratitude just gives me more than me giving to them by just serving them food. It's like the what you get back from the volunteering. Like I've built homes for Habitat for Humanity. I went to Haven Homes, which is for abused women in Michigan. You know, there's a lot of things that I've done. I picked up skills, but I also just felt that reward from giving back. So it's great to give that time, but it's also what you're going to get back in return, I think.
I hear two things in that. One, when people volunteer, it's been recorded as calling me like a soft glow, where you just feel the world just changes when you're giving of yourself. But it also helps you find purpose, depending on what stage of life you're in. Some young people trying to find direction in their lives, retirees, it's a whole new world when you're not earning a paycheck. You have people going through job transitions and needing to have a way to keep skills up and to feel valuable while they're in the job search. So it truly does meet each individual where they're at.
Oh, I never thought of it like that. Well, even with you just saying that, my business hat went on for a second. It's also would be a good opportunity to meet other volunteers or people within the organization, which, if, like you said, if maybe you're not employed at the time, where it might, give you a leg up on a job by meeting like one of the doctors or lawyers on the board of directors. I mean, I think that it could have a lot of benefits, not just feeling your purpose, but maybe introducing yourself to someone who could further your career or become a new friend.
Absolutely. You find that more in the arts, where people come for like the social network, more so than like working with children or seniors. But it does create opportunities where you're meeting with people you might not normally have met with or get to know them. And if you need a referral or you're looking for something in particular, they can help you, and you have built a rapport with them because you're like-minded. You're serving together about what's passionate about both of you, and you're able to, with confidence, recommend or direct them in a certain direction that might be looking to go in.
What do you mean when you volunteer for the arts? What does that mean? Like
Museums. The symphony, more along that lines. There's sometimes a little bit more social credibility, not credibility. They look at more of a stepping stone. And sometimes working with the nonprofits, it's more just being more towards the individuals and what the purpose is.
Yeah, my mom used to volunteer at a theater here, and one of the perks was she got to see the shows for free. I mean, it was perfect, when everybody else is spending, $200 on a ticket, she got to see everything for free. And whenever they needed a sub, I was like, oh, I'll do it. So that would be something like within the arts kind of category. I never thought of that. I never thought of that as an opportunity to volunteer. I know there's a lot of causes out there with, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, with volunteering for, to do something with cancer, or even is volunteering when you do like a walk or raise money, is that similar to what we're talking?
That can be volunteering. We, on the podcast, we recently had the American Cancer Society, and they do their relays, and that's volunteering, where families or individuals put a team together and they raise funds and they come together for the afternoon. You have the volunteers who are volunteering their time to put the event together, and then you have the volunteers spending the time helping spread awareness and raise money. It all works for the mission of the organization.
So why don't more people volunteer? I mean, I'm always posting on my social media, hey, I just volunteered here, come join me. I'm looking for other opportunities to volunteer, please let me know. But nobody ever steps up. Nobody ever says, okay, I'll come with you. Why do people fear that?
I'm too busy. I have so many other things on my plate. I can barely get myself to XYZ. And it doesn't have to be that hard. It could be as simple as your neighbor, you haven't seen them in a couple days, their trash cans haven't come in. Take them in, knock on the door, and just say hello. I mean, it's not a major volunteering, but it's affecting someone else's life. It can be that simple. Or you could be, like I said, on a board of directors helping to steer a nonprofit in your community or in the region that you live in. Whatever time that you have available, I guarantee there's an organization that can use that time. Organizations that send out mailings around the end of the year for their fundraising, they need to be stamped and labeled and put in the mailbox, or letters folded. It could you can donate like 2 hours and accomplish so much for that organization. It doesn't seem like much, but it allows the staff to work on more of the program side of things. Mentoring, you can work that into your schedule, and you're investing in a young person's life to help them direct and find their own educational path, career path, or just help them be a good human. So there's what you have to give, there's a place for it.
Okay, I know this has nothing to do with the subject, but you said something about stuffing envelopes with the, a lot of times you get those little stickers.
Yes.
Yeah. Doesn't that cost money?
It does. It all costs money, and most of the nonprofits raise their money from individuals or foundations or corporations, and every dollar is precious because at the beginning of the fiscal year they start at zero and have to raise all of it. So when people are able to volunteer their time to help, like being on a planning committee for a bowling event or a golf outing, it helps move the mission forward without having to have that expense, or help to use the money even more wisely. And then the donors see that support and they want to give more because they realize the mission's being carried out.
Do you find that the people that you've talked to, do they find more gratitude in actually giving time or money, or both?
It depends on the individual. I tend to think both matter. You tend to find that volunteering has been referred to as the gateway drug, because you get to know the organization. at a deeper level. You get to come in and partner with them, becoming part of their mission to see it happen. And then when you really see it and really feel and that you're a part of it, the donations follow. Because you see the impact that's being made. So the checks go from 50 to 100 or 100 to 500. And so the volunteer becomes a true advocate and ambassador for the organization that they're supporting.
Do you have any stories to share, like from people that you've talked to or worked with, or even your own journey and how you started with volunteering?
There's one that it was more of an impact. My husband and I were leaders in a youth program, and one of the families that was in the program, we taught their kids. The mom had a rare kidney disease, and so we were able to step outside of the youth program and come along that family, and we helped them with meals and homework and just running errands. And it allowed us to come full circle and to see those children. The mom was able to have a transplant and she's living a full life. And we got to see the kids grow up and graduate elementary school and high school. And just knowing that you had a part in their in that growth during that, that difficult time. So volunteering can be as simple as taking a meal. That was just so impactful, and we love watching them like on the socials and seeing where the kids are now, and knowing that we had a hand in that.
Now,
volunteering. What was that?
I'm going to say I wouldn't have thought that was volunteering. I would have thought that was being neighborly, but I guess it is a form of helping out.
It's a form of volunteering. We were volunteering with the kids program, and then we just went outside of that and came along a family. You're giving of your time. You're not getting paid for it, and it resonates with you as a purpose.
I just never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
So that kind of changes the way that I look at some of the things that people do for others. It's kind of like an act of giving without being compensated. And the compensation comes from whatever joy it might give you or gratitude it might give you for giving of your time or making someone dinner or whatever. That's an interesting way to look at it. I was like, okay, I'm in thought right now, sorry.
That's okay. No worries. On the podcast, I'd like to close that through volunteering. Like I said, bringing in trash cans, helping a family with a meal, donating time for the Cancer Society. Each individual is helping to transform the fabric of our society. You want to see difference made? Help someone else. Go outside of your own circle and meet someone you might not normally know, hang out with, or generally be in the same circle, and help them in their hour in need. And you will look at the world in a completely different way.
I love that. I mean, I really love that. It's when I was thinking about the conversation we were going to have, I was thinking it was like, going to a homeless shelter and feeding, or I just never thought that volunteering could actually be something done so small in your own neighborhood or your own community that wasn't like a structured program. I really love that.
Volunteering is for everyone. I know in our area, Meals on Wheels, where they take hot meals to the elderly in their community. There are children's programs who put together little note cards or like little beaded things that go on those plates when they're being served. So it brings a smile to a senior's face, but a 4, 5, and 6-year-old can actually put that together. They're giving of their time and they're helping someone else. So volunteering can start at the very young ages and go all the way through into the golden years.
Well, I think the younger you would start or encourage your children or just take them along with you would come the practice that they would take going forward into their life.
I find that the younger that it's modeled to a student, the more of a lifelong commitment they make to volunteering. Although I did have a guest on recently who started volunteering when she was like 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. She was, they dangled in front of her free concert tickets. And so her and her family cleaned up trash after the county fair was in town. They went and cleaned it up so she could get 2 tickets to go to a concert. So that's her earliest memory of being a volunteer. And she is now a volunteer coordinator and actually has her own volunteer consulting businesses for nonprofits. So the younger you get an opportunity to learn and experience it, the more of a lifelong impact that it makes.
So again, I own the Financial Center for Women, and I work, like most of my clients are either getting ready to retire or retired. And I think that lots of times they just don't know what they're going to fill that 24 hours now that they have in a day because they're no longer working. And volunteering could be a great way to give back and to fill some of your time. So when somebody's, say, a little older in age, are there more or like certain programs that they should look at, or should they just go with whatever their passion is?
I think first they need to find out what resonates with them. What's most important? Is it giving back to children, or maybe you're past children and don't want anything to do with them? Or you really appreciate what's going on in maybe a senior citizen's life and you want to pay it forward. Find out what's important to you, and then it can be as simple as, like I said, doing a Google search. If you're involved with a house of worship, there's always opportunities that you learn from there. Talk to your friends and see what they're passionate about and where they're volunteering. And you reach out to the organization. If you call up, I guarantee someone's going to call you back to say, how can we get you involved? You had said something else, and I just lost my train of thought. I apologize.
That means is your husband like smoking the house out with that
No,
alarm system
no,
while
I
he's
think
cooking?
I'm excited that the dog didn't go off after the. We would have really had an incredible episode.
I want to know what he's cooking for dinner.
Salmon.
Yeah, I just salmon fished this year I haven't fished in a long time and caught 8 king salmon, and it was awesome experience. Anyway, that's totally off subject. So we're going to go back to you. Did you gather that thought back up?
No, I really didn't, and that's okay. I just want people to realize that volunteering, it does not have to be hard. It does not have to be stressful. It's simply finding what resonates with you and taking a step towards it. You benefit from it, and the organization or the people you're working with benefit from it as well. It could be a one-time shot at the holidays, serving in a soup kitchen, or it can be something more consistent, going to the library every Tuesday afternoon and reading the 3 to 5-year-olds picture books. It's building those relationships. It makes such an impact. I can be a broken record about that. I just want everyone to connect with someone else because it benefits everyone.
Well, it benefits your mental health, especially if you're, an empty nester trying to start to find something to fill your routine that came from your kids being at home, and now you're like lost sometimes. Like, what am I going to do? I don't have to get them to school anymore. I don't have to do any of that, and giving back to someone is very rewarding. And I think you just made volunteering very easy by saying, and people probably don't even realize they're doing it, is when you talked about, how you stepped out of that group, the youth group that you were in, to help that family. And I have a lot of friends that when somebody's ill, they're, what they call it, a meal train?
Meal train?
Yeah, they set up meal trains. And you never think of that as volunteering. You think that that's just a friend being a friend.
I think what used to be very common that people just help that way. That was just part of being in the community. And I think as communities have changed, it's become more volunteering. But I really think they go together. It's an extension of one or the other. But I did think of my thoughts.
Oh, good. What is it?
I was with a conversation, someone who's in more of our stage of life, and she was a widower, or a widow. And she was saying she doesn't do dating apps or anything like that. She actually volunteers because she finds that men in particular who volunteer are usually 9 times out of 10 like good people to be around. And she also found that they're like-minded. So she'd rather volunteer to meet people, men and women, but if she was to look for a date, it'd be someone that she volunteers with because she really gets to see what they're all about.
I never expected to get dating advice because I'm
sorry.
No.
It was just a conversation last week.
I'm single and have just up to here with the dating app, so maybe I need to search out some from.
You let me know, and I'll have you on the podcast to share all about it.
Yeah, I took Stormy's advice. I went out and volunteered, and now I'm getting married. I can hear my producers laughing. Who knew my life was going to be solved? That's fantastic. I'm sure that in anything, when you get involved in organizations and you get to know the people, you get to know if it's the children, you get to bond and make a relationship with them, even though I don't know, what is that, maybe an hour that you read stories. It can be so fulfilling for someone who, and I guess maybe even meet my future husband. I'm going to have to really think about that one, Stormy.
Yeah.
Now I'm like running through places where I can go volunteer. So any other advice that you would like to share about, and first, and then talk about your podcast a little bit more.
What about the podcast?
I said, is there anything other advice?
Bi-weekly.
Oh.
What was that?
I said, is there any other advice that you would like to share, and then tell us about your podcast?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Any other advice? You had asked me, and I was preparing for it, like what my financial advice would be.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to ask that. Yes, go ahead.
So my financial advice is actually not about volunteering. I had the privilege to be a stay-at-home mom, and I know that's not everyone's able to do that. But what I've found as I've gotten older, I have a gap of time that I didn't put into Social Security. So I recommend that if you have the opportunity to be a stay-at-home mom, find a job for like 10 hours a week and be paying in, keeping your skills up to keep you marketable. So when you do re-enter, you are able to be someone that people want to hire.
That is great advice, because you do have to contribute to, well, they take an average of 35 years, and then it's 40 credits a year, so, to qualify for one of those years. So you're right. If you took on just something of 10 hours a week, you would qualify for Social Security. And there's a lot of benefits, too, because if you're working, even if it's that small amount, and something happened to you and you became disabled or something, you would qualify for disability. Yep. That's some really good advice. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
So anything else you want to share? Because our time is up.
Having the opportunity to share the stories on the podcast about just so many different ways people are helping each other. It's a privilege to hear people with the United Way and the impact that they're making. I mentioned the Cancer Society. I'm going to be talking to a school for this next season where the students, they choose volunteer activities of a way to giving back to their community, and it's more of a low to moderate income. And so they're helping everyone in that community rise to be the best that they can do. Just hearing what's part of the human condition and helping it be the best version of it as possible. So that was what I'd like to share about volunteering.
That's fantastic. It really does give back to you and back to the community. It is really worthwhile. So thank you so much for sharing your information and sharing the art of volunteering. And everybody check out our podcast. And I appreciate you. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. This was fun. Apologize for the fire alarm.
That's okay.
But, enjoy.
That's okay. Stuff happens.
All right.
So take care.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. This has been Unstoppable. I'm Paula Swain, and I will talk to you next week. Thank you.
Thanks for watching Unstoppable. Do you have a question for Paula? Send it our way. To schedule a one-on-one consultation, give us a call. Unstoppable is brought to you by Paula Swain and the Financial Center for Women. Dream, grow, thrive.